it's really weird and it's really hard to speak kindly to yourself and to do those things, but if you can train yourself to do that, man, is it a life changer.
Hi there, welcome to my channel. My name is Karis. I am a life coach for young adults, and today I am here to talk about some advice I have for teens. So a couple months ago I did a video about 20 things every teen girl should know, and that video has been doing really well, and most of you seemed to like it. If you haven't watched it yet, I'll link it down below. You can watch it after this video. But today I want to just kind of spend some time diving a little deeper and elaborating a little bit on that video. So to just kind of give you a heads up on what I'll be talking about, there's going to be 5 different categories. I have my laptop right here, that's what I'm looking at. So we're going to first off talk about friends, and then we're going to dive into relationships, school, identity, and then just give you a little bit tips on how to love yourself. So 5 different sections, and yeah, without further ado, just going to dive right into the topic of friends. Okay, so I know that making friends doesn't always come easy, and a lot of times you can find yourself surrounded with people who are kind of mean, honestly. I vividly remember just like in high school and middle school, there was definitely groups. There was the popular group, there was non-popular groups and the jocks and whatnot. And I do remember like really wanting to fit in, but it was always kind of hard to fit in because I didn't want to change who I was, but I also didn't want to be that weirdo who didn't have friends. So the first thing I want to let you know is, first of all, those years, they don't last that long. Like, you're going to be out of high school in 4 years. Second of all, changing who you are in order to fit in is not worth it. And if you have to change yourself to become friends with somebody, then those friends really aren't your friends, and those are not the people you want to be around. Because if you're constantly having to change who you are, it's not going to be fun to be around that person. And it does not matter like what group you hang out with. Okay, let me take that back. You obviously probably shouldn't be hanging out with people who are doing drugs and partying, but when it comes to status, it doesn't matter. That you should not worry so much about if you're with the popular crowd or not, because if you think about it, the only time the popular crowd or like that name even matters is in high school. After high school, nobody gives a crap whether or not you were popular in high school or not. What people do care about is whether or not you're a decent human being, whether or not you're nice and friendly and actually care about others. So don't put too much of an emphasis on which group you're hanging out with, and don't lose yourself trying to conform into other personalities just so you can fit in, because in the long run it's going to be so much work for you and it's not going to be worth it, and you're not going to be attracting the right kind of people into your life. You're going to be attracting very toxic people, and friends that aren't truly your friend. And now moving to relationships. I know this one is a huge one because I remember when I was in middle school and high school, and just everybody talked about boyfriends and girlfriends. The biggest tip I have for you when it comes to relationships as a teen is that you actually do not have to have a boyfriend or a girlfriend to be happy. But I know that is what everybody is fixating on around you. There are dances coming up. You probably don't want to be that person that is going to a dance by themselves, or you know, like you want a date and you want that guy you can Snapchat all the time or text. You want that guy that will go to football games with you. Like, I get it. definitely, I get it. And I really honestly don't have much room to talk in this area because I was that girl that had a boyfriend all the way throughout high school. But what I can tell you is if you choose to not spend so much time chasing boys and or girls, you are actually going to be saving yourself so much heartache. I know from the outside looking in, having a boyfriend or girlfriend can seem very glamorous. It can seem like you are never gonna feel lonely, but really most of those people, they're actually not that happy. Those couples are actually almost always fighting over petty, stupid things that no one's ever going to think about after high school or middle school. That girl you think is in a very healthy, happy relationship is probably crying herself to bed because her boyfriend didn't Snapchat her back. Choosing to not actually be in a relationship at such a young age is not a bad idea. But I know it's a lot easier said than done to say like, oh, you don't need a boyfriend. So if you do choose to have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, know that one, don't ever date somebody just because you don't want to feel lonely anymore. Date someone because you genuinely are interested in them and you like them and want to get to know them more. And two, don't lose yourself in a relationship. Don't give so much of yourself and your time to a guy to where you don't know what you would do without that guy. But that is enough about relationships, and we're going to move on to the next topic, which is school. We know everybody loves school, right? Okay, so the very first thing I want to talk about when it comes to school is, one, it's good to work hard, but do not obsess over your grades, because grades are not everything. Just because you get all A's in school, it does not mean you are going to be super successful in life. Employers, like later on in the future when you're looking for a job, they're not gonna care like so much about what kind of grades you got. They're gonna care more about your character, whether or not you know how to work hard and apply yourself, if you are a teachable person, if you can work with groups of people without causing too much drama and so on. So it's good to work hard, it's good to strive to get good grades, but good grades are not something you should obsess over so much to the point where you cause yourself to go into like so much anxiety attacks and all of that. If you do struggle in school, note that it seriously doesn't mean you're stupid or anything like that. I've always been a person, like school never came easy for me. I've always had to work really hard. I used to get so discouraged until I learned that everybody has different strengths. There's this thing like where some people think more so with their left side of the brain, which the left side of our brain is more like analytical, does more with math and data and science, where the right side of our brain is more fixated on like emotional intelligence, creativity. But in our world, a lot of times, those who think with the left side of their brain are rewarded more because they can like show others that they are good at math and they are good at science, and those are the things you're getting tested on in school. You're not getting tested on whether or not you get along with others, or if you know how to read people's emotions, or if you are super creative musically or artistically, unless you go to one of like a creative school or whatever. So when I started to learn more about emotional intelligence, I realized like that is like a gift. Like just because, you know, I don't get great grades in math or science, it doesn't mean I'm not going to be successful in life, because what I want to do in life is to help others, and in order to be able to help others, you have to have empathy and just genuinely care for others, and that does not require me to be good at math or science. thank God. So just remember that. Seriously, if school comes kind of hard for you right now, it does not mean you're not going to be successful in life. But really quickly, I want to just mention a couple more things before we wrap up this video. And the first one is identity. Let's talk a little bit about your identity. This is kind of deep. A lot of times in our teen years, that's just like a very formative part of life where we're trying to figure out who we are, and sometimes we find our identities in the things we do. Like if you are an athlete, you find your identity in sports, or if you are in band, you find your identity in music. And I want to let you know you are way more than that. You're way more than just an athlete. You are way more than just a musician. You are a very unique and special individual, and you can be unique and special without being that athlete or without being that artist or whatnot. And then the other thing I want to mention to you is you are not defined by how you look. I know, especially in this day and age, we see a lot of social media posts that kind of praise certain body types, certain physical appearances, and it can be kind of hard to look at those things and not compare yourself. But again, your identity is not going to be found or defined by how you look. As cliche as this sounds, you're genuinely, seriously beautiful just the way you are. You don't need to look like the girl on TikTok or the girl on Instagram. You don't need to have a middle part and wear mom jeans. I think that's what's in right now. I don't know, I feel old. You don't have to do all those things to be considered beautiful and unique. And the sooner you can start figuring yourself out rather than wrapping your identity in those things, I think the happier you'll find yourself later on in life. But going off of that, I have one very last tip. This one is important. If you don't take anything I just said today, just take this last tip and really apply it to your life. And that is, be nice to yourself. We spend so much time critiquing ourselves, talking really negatively to ourselves. We are our worst enemy and our worst critic. So try to actually, for once, not be so hard on yourself. I want to insert a clip, if I can find it, of something one of my friends posted on Snapchat. She's a super sweet girl and just an amazing person, and she posted this and I had to screen record it because it was just so good. So let's take a look at it.
This is on my heart because self-talk is always on my heart. Self-talk is so important. The way that you speak to yourself and the way that you see yourself, it's so important. Imagine if we would start liking our insecurities and liking the things that we would compare to other people, oh, my hair is ugly but her hair is pretty. Imagine if you just embraced your difference, you really did, not just motivationally speaking, embrace your difference. If you literally were no, I'm gonna learn to like my hair, my straight hair, even though her curly hair is super cute. Imagine if you just did that. It's really weird and it's really hard to speak kindly to yourself and to do those things, but if you can train yourself to do that, man, is it a life changer.
So yeah, like my friend Jordan said, seriously, let's take some time actually being nice to ourselves and not critiquing ourselves, and instead just actually talking positively to ourselves. You are going to be so surprised at how much of a difference that makes. The world is already telling us all the things we're doing wrong and all the ways we're messing up. I hope that was all helpful. Comment down below and let me know if any of these tips were helpful, if you have any tips for others. And if you want to see more videos like this, go ahead, comment down below, let me know. Subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on more videos. Follow me on Instagram. I'm a lot more active over there on Instagram. But that is all I have for you. For now, you can check out one of these other videos I'll have up on the screen. And until next time, bye!